So hi guys, this is my second video and this is after 6 months into MBA, and since my first video received a lot of questions from a lot of architects, I thought I'll put it all together and sort of try to address what all I know through my journey so far, and if that helps anyone in even it like a teeny tiny manner, that's that's what this vlog is for. So I remember I mentioned that I wanted to specialize in marketing, and some of the questions were related to marketing. But then into starting my course, I realized that I find finance a bit more interesting, and I enjoy marketing projects, but I do enjoy finance more as a subject. And so I just wanted to clarify that. And before I go ahead and start answering questions, so I compiled a list of questions, and so yeah, here I go. I'll start with from whatever responses that I received. So the first question was that what is the usually preferred specialization in MBA which would suit architects, and what is the scope for architects in that specialization? So I would say that it totally depends on your interest, because at the end of the day, you have to carry it forward. Your interest drives it. So even and I mean, you're here to explore, so you can have fun with it. If you enjoy marketing, and that's and I think you realize it at like when you start doing, and there are a lot of good projects that happen, and the course is fast paced. So you'll start understanding where your interest lies, and your summer internship is sort of the first step in that direction. So my summer internship, the one that I got, is in finance, and I'll be starting it soon in April. And so that will be the first step towards my specialization. And I think it's better if we don't go with any preconceived notions. And there's no such thing as something will suit an architect and there's something will suit an engineer more. So as long as you're good in your analytical skills, and you're good at reducing things and connecting the dots, I think any specialization works. And it also, I think, in a way depends on how much you're reading about that particular subject and what your faculty is. So since NMIMS has better faculty in finance compared to marketing, so that's why I think I started finding finance a bit more interesting than marketing. Then the second question was, I'm interested in HR. Is that also a good option? Again, it entirely depends on you. Though for me, per se, HR was not what I was interested in and what I wanted to pursue later on. It also depended on where, what am I coming from, what my work experience, how did that sort of direct me into taking MBA. So that also needs to be kept in mind, because I mean, you need to have a story in the back of your mind which sort of drives you throughout these 2 years, because otherwise, because there's a lot of self-learning, peer learning that happens. Very less learning actually happens in the classroom, and there's more with your acad group or with your competitions that you're taking part in, or the case studies that are given. So it was a lot interest-driven than faculty-driven the way it was in undergrad, at least for me. Then is MBA like a complete switch of career, or would we use a creative aspect in some way in the field? So I wouldn't say you would be making buildings here on, but I mean, creativity definitely helps, because you're supposed to come up with interesting solutions to everyday problems. It could be operational, or it could be, how do I launch this product? Or I mean, that is later on down the your MBA profession. But I mean, it helps keeping that creative side intact, because I found that it helped me a little so far in the marketing projects, wherein we were supposed to come up with ideas related to new products for the pet industry, and how would we go about launching it, and how would we price it. And so the product formation part, it helps, but later on you obviously have to apply your concepts that you've been learning in MBA. And I remember this particular skill, especially the primary research that we're doing for marketing projects. A lot of it is actually drawn from how we went about primary research in architecture, wherein we did a lot of on-ground survey regarding the users of the area or users of the context. So similarly, it is just users of the product in this way or users of the service in this way. So some things are definitely taken in from what we did as a part of field research. But yeah, obviously it starts, the more detailed you go, the more different learnings you need. And isn't that the whole point? Like, you're trying to learn new things, and it should be in that way a 360-degree turn towards your learning, because I believe that a master's degree, rather than simply being an add-on, it should actually open your mind, and should make you more aware of things that you had no clue about. So that helps. Then I know of architects who take an MBA in project management. Did you also consider taking project management? No, I did not consider taking project management. And project management is a little different from what MBA, core MBA is. That is the MBA in marketing, finance, operations, or data science, or HR. So project management, I wasn't that interested in. In my till 12th, I have been interested in a way in finance, even though I was a science student. I did have a few commerce subjects in my, my school gave me that option. I could do that. And eventually I wanted to start my own business someday. At least that's what got me into this. And I felt that the core subjects would help me more than simply taking up project management. Then are the MBA subjects difficult to cope up with, as we are from different background? Like, they are not difficult to cope up with as long as you keep up with the pre-reads and a lot of the projects happen in academic only. Very rarely you have individual projects. So it helps someone like an engineer or a commerce grad or a non-engineer, non-commerce like me. I mean, we all bring in different perspectives to the table, and that sort of helps in easing your learning. So even if you're finding some subjects difficult, you have people who know things much more than you that can help you in the process. So it's not the way it used to happen in school, or the way it used to happen in our undergrad projects, wherein a lot of it was individual. Like, MBA is all about peer learning only. So even if you're finding something difficult, you can easily reach out to anyone. And but also having additional reading helps a lot. And it also helps because, I mean, some subjects have, for example, the one that I'm having right now, corporate finance, it's a bit technical, and it would help if you do some, but it can happen along, as and when you're progressing further in the trimesters. So, I mean, the only concern should be how do you get into a good school, and then it all falls into place. Then someone asked me also what's my opinion on RICS or NICMAR, and since that is completely related to construction management, and that was not my option. And the entire reason of doing an MBA for me was actually I needed different perspectives to look at, and I wanted to broaden my learnings. And I thought zooming into architecture per se, that wasn't my calling. And even though I loved all the projects that I had as a part of my college, but I thought I could use my skills in an interesting way if I chose MBA. Then one more person has asked me that she said that I'm not liking the details during my 4th year. I would like to start my own firm in the future, and I thought MBA would provide a good foundation for that. But I don't know how I'll be able to justify this in the interview. And is opening my own firm a good reason to justify my decision to do MBA? So as long as that you can convince yourself, you can convince the panel. So it's all, if you are not convinced with your story, with why you're doing this, panel would be able to figure that out. So if you think MBA would be an addition into why uh, it's necessary for you before you start your own firm, so I mean, that is your reason. But like, be thorough with it. Be sure, is this really the step forward? I mean, like, you could also start your own firm right now. Uh, I mean, I know a lot of my juniors or a lot of my seniors, some people in my class itself, my classmates during my undergraduate, they have started their own small practices. So if that's the concern, you can start it right away, or you can gain some experience, because I think that helps, because you develop contacts and you know where you're going wrong or where you're going right and what you need to work on. So a little bit of experience definitely helps before you start, before you jump directly into starting your own firm. But like, my thought process was, I wanted to start a social enterprise. So I didn't want to start an architecture firm per se. So I needed to understand how to make it financially sustainable, since that is not what architects are focused on. We are taught how to design well. And though I would think that the curriculum should have included the financial aspects of it, but I mean, it's okay. I mean, you have master's courses for that. But if you believe that this is your step into that direction, so you be sure about it. And even I thought that interviews would be such a big deal to crack, but it's in fact the exams that I found. Like, once you get through the exams, you clear all the interviews if you're sure about your story. So interviews are not really they were not really the stress point for me. Clearing the exams were, because if you don't clear the first step, then I mean, the next steps are automatically like, they automatically disappear. So the first thought should be, how do I clear the exams? And then rest, like, after you get the interview calls, you start thinking about your story, what are you going to tell, because you realize that a lot of people are actually doing this because they want a better shot at different opportunity. So everyone's in the same boat, and it's not as scary as it sounds. And I mean, even if you're switching careers, so what? People do it periodically, and we will be required to do it periodically, the way the world is changing right now. So I think this sort of, I hope it helped. And I'll do a third video soon where I'll talk about my internship experience. And and thank you for reaching out to me. It meant a lot that so many people were watching, and so many people actually had the same concerns as me when I was starting out. So again, you can reach out to me either on Instagram or either on my mail, which is already mentioned. So see you guys soon.